Today, very loyal powertrain flight simulator players are making their case to the strikes as we look at your PTFS suggestions part 7. This will be a fun one. Oh, and if you are new here, please do consider subscribing. Thanks, and enjoy! Oh boy, this is actually going to be a good one. The first suggestion is by Nate16150 saying add the Pawnee Crop Duster. Now the Pawnee Crop Duster PA25 is made by Piper Aircraft Incorporated and it was used for spraying chemicals on farm fields. And honestly, it's kind of interesting. We don't have a crop duster in the game and we can have different unique mechanics added. Like, you know, for chemical dropping we can use like contra effects. And honestly, though it might be useless after like 2 weeks, like seaplanes, I'm kind of a crop duster stan to be honest. I stan crop dusters, fellas. Nah man, but this is kind of interesting. I'll give this suggestion an 8 out of 10, partly because I don't know if anyone used this, like I said earlier, but, you know, kind of interesting to be honest. Giggle Pass says Romanian IAR 80. Looks like you're a very great Romanian stan, so let's talk about this. Now the IAR 80 was a ground attack aircraft for Romania during World War II. And you know what? It's kind of interesting to be honest. I do like its smudge liveries and actually brings something new to the table for PTFS. Actually several stuff. 1, we don't have an aircraft for Romania. 2, we need more World War II aircraft. And number 3, it's quite unique to other World War II aircraft. So honestly, it would be a pretty seamless addition. Yeah, I think this would be a great suggestion. I'm gonna have to give this suggestion a 9 out of 10 here. Dan the Man 546 says layout at Boston Logan is very unique, might make for a very fun airport. Okay, so Boston has 2 parallel runways and some intersections here and there in the terminal building, but like trying to manage 4 different runways and not having any collisions with aircraft, I think it can certainly be a challenge and bring something new to the game that honestly makes the game a little bit harder for ATC. So honestly, if I was Orange and I had to add Boston logo, I would just do 3 runways instead of 4. But either way, it's an 8 out of 10 suggestion here. Pretty good suggestion. So let's move on to the next one. This is going to be certainly a controversial one. Virtual Reality says, I know gear animation will be added, but hear me out this, because I think this is a very convincing enough. So, he says if aircraft are remodeled, like Orange said, he doesn't want to remodel aircraft just to put gear animation. He just says if an aircraft is remodeled, maybe like the Typhoon right now, gear animation should just be added, and the doors opening and closing should not be animated, rather just the gear itself. So, he also put a video, let's go ahead and watch it. Okay, I can see where you're coming from. Again, there are so many aircraft, and how long will it take for Orange to go through every single one? I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I would love gear animation to it, but it's kind of, you know, gonna take a long time to do, but I see where you're coming from. And the last suggestion before we head into our halftime is Leon Dead 5878. Says add special liveries like these ones that you could buy in a pack or a gamepad. With 26 check marks, they showed pictures of Van Hansa, the Qatar World Cup 2022, and an American flag Southwest livery. I think this could be very interesting, especially if you want to add retro liveries to the list too, like the American and Turkish MD-80s, or the old United Globe livery on the 747s. Excluding role plays, liveries are not really a big part of powertrain flight simulator, but if you have like first, like say 50, 75 robots, like 10 to 12 liveries, that would be kind of special. I think this is interesting, so it's an out of 10 for me here. I smell my mom's cooking. I don't know what that is. It's halftime, fellas. Let's go ahead and look at some minor suggestions that really don't need like 1 or 2 minutes to talk about, but I would like to talk to them nonetheless. Question from Massa says Blackjack Typhoon to the new remodeled Eurofighter would be good for airshow roleplays. As you know, the Eurofighter Typhoon is actually being worked on in the aircraft development game by the PTC server, and honestly, it could be bringing something interesting, especially since we had the P-38 update liveries. So I'll give a suggestion that 10 out of 10 adds a brand new scheme for, you know, display teams, which is still burgeoning in its community, so I like it. Virus says add a GUI that says reverse when you press P, because people get mixed up easily. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna lie, you know how many times that I get so mixed up. In fact, play a clip right now. We used basically the entire run, we exhausted it. Let's go ahead. No. That video is from the A380 versus Saba video, which you can watch on the top right corner, but I desperately need it. I really need to know. I don't think the coloring with the pushback doesn't really help me. It's a 10 out suggestion for me. Actually, no, 11 out of 10. Yeah, 11 out of 10 makes sense. Blip the Mind Man says names for the seas for easier navigation. I don't know what that says, but it's kind of small. I think it says Orange Ocean, and I don't even know what that says. I have to zoom in. Sea of Islip. I can't really read it. I'm sorry, but Okay, I can see where you're coming from. It'd be cool for role plays, but other than that, it's kind of useless for, main game thing. I'll give it a 10 out of 10 though, partly because it's not really a hard add and would, add a new element for role plays. So there's my saying for that. Ooh, this is interesting. Roblox Cup says maybe add Airbus and Boeing liveries to your aircraft. This could be great for different type of role plays, like maybe delivery flights or, coming out of factory and stuff. Honestly, this is a 10 out of 10 suggestion for me. We could add, more elements in your roleplay with adding these Airbus and Boeing liveries, especially if you want to do like a goodbye to the A380 production. That would have been great. Raid Zizzle says, please add the ANA A380 turtle livery. I'm not gonna lie, every time I see the A380 livery in ANA, it's so mesmerizing. I mean, the design of it would be wonderful, especially in PTFS, though I think it'll be torture and horror for Orange to make the livery. I have to say yes to this. For me, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 though, partly because I don't know how Orange is gonna do it. If he can't do an Etihad tail livery, I don't know how he'll end up with this, but it is possible, so... You know what, Giggle, I know you appeared 2 times in this video, but... No, I think you cannot do this. No one out Easter eggs the Derek's creation. That was awful. Oh my goodness. Sickman39 says, add the Avro arrow. Now the Avro Canada ICF 105 arrow was for intercepted purposes for the Royal Canadian Air Force and actually was cancelled, so it never actually flew for the RCAF. So I do think this Delta Wing aircraft would be cool. It's just been cancelled, and I don't know if Orange would, focus on cancelled aircraft more than, other aircraft like that's actually, flying. Also, I don't know if it's me. It kind of looks similar to the Avro Vulcan, which kind of pisses Sam off. So I'll give suggestion a 5 out of 10. To be honest, I don't know. I'll just say that. Avion says maybe instead of adding actual names, airline names, you might add slightly different names like FedEx to Rolex or American Airlines or something like that. And it's just to avoid copyright. Dude, you're literally just asking the law to punish you severely. I know some other games, cough cough, have actually done this, and you know what? It's just a dumb move. Not applicable, 0 out of 10 here. Shaladet, I apologize if I butchered it, but Nordstrom Grumman RQ4 Global Hawk with a special airport which it can be controlled from. We have 2 things to talk about, the airport, that special airport, and the Global Hawk, which honestly looks like a beluga, but shiny. Maybe a Super Guppy, but with engines. Either way, it kind of looks ugly, to be honest. Oh, let's just talk about this. I should stop commenting on an aircraft design, but more on its viability. Now, the Grumman RQ4 Global Hawk was for surveillance as well, just like the Avro Arrow, and it's actually still in service. And honestly, this looks like a type of aircraft that honestly people would actually fall in love with, especially if it's nice curves and stuff. You know what? I think honestly it'd be pretty cool. And let's also talk about the special airport too, because that's kind of an interesting concept too, as well. It could be something where you cannot spawn at, like the UFO testing airfield, or you can spawn at, like in military. But I don't know how I feel about the special airport just to, make it for the Grumman, but you know what, I'll give this suggestion a 9 out of 10. Not because of the airport, well, the airport could bring some kind of substance to some islands, maybe put on scapulos for some reason, but like, the Grumman has that fan favorite type of feel, and I think everyone will love the Grumman. And the last suggestion is by Doctors X saying freighter update for pilot training flight simulator. This can add big airline additions to the 747, 777, 77 freighters, add new liveries like Kalita Air Cargo Lux for the 747 freighter, or ANA Cargo at Prime Air for the 767. Honestly, yeah, I think this could be very useful. Will this probably change how cargo is being perceived in PTFS? Probably not, but we desperately need some kind of revision, some kind of renewal for the type, and I just, nobody uses freighter, right? You know what, patrons state how it works.
747 cargo. It's a 747, but without the party. No seats for friends, unless they're a UPS parcel. A tier.
Thank you, Pat. I very do appreciate it. Honestly, I think this could add some kind of interest in it, but it won't be to fix it. So just give this suggestion a 9 out of 10. I just like the livery, especially I want to see a Prime Air or Cargo Lux livery, but other than that, it doesn't really help cargo, but it just adds a new substance to it, and I kind of like it. Well, fellas, that's basically it for today's installment of PTFS Suggestions Part 7. If you did enjoy it, please do consider subscribing. Comment down below what your favorite suggestion was, or what you would add if you were Orange to PTFS. And screen videos will appear on the screen now. I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I have a sore throat. Guys, thanks for watching, and that's all, take flight. Adios.